Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Mind, Money, and Body podcast. This podcast, we bring to you experts from across the world and we speak about mental, physical, and financial well being. Because these three core aspects are essential to your success. If you have financial well being but don't have good health, it doesn't matter. At the same time, if you have good physical health but you don't have money to enjoy, of course, it's not going to work. So that is why we are covering all these three aspects for you. And today we are going to speak with Miss Suchi, who is from Singapore, and she has been an achiever. And if I just start with, she is the country chair in Singapore Global Goodwill Ambassadors. She is the vice president at Southeast Asia Global Goodwill Ambassadors. She is a life coach, motivational speaker, laughter therapy coach. That's most important. We'll talk about that in detail. Laughter therapy is something which we should be practicing. We'll speak about that and we'll hear from Ms. Suchi. She is author for a book called Code to Happiness. She has been a former principal at various international schools in Singapore. Without further ado, welcome to the show, Ms. Suchi.
Hi, Vikram. Thank you for having me. That was good. So when you work hard for so many years and when you're being introduced on a podcast and you realize, oh, that was what you had done in your life. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. And of course, I just started, as I said, the list is very long. There have been a huge list of achievements and, we'll talk about laughter therapy in particular today and stress management because as you see that, Corona and the environment which we are today into, the lockdown situation, many people are suffering issues related to their mental well-being, financial well-being. So we'll talk to Ms. Suchi and we'll just hear from her what we can do and, how you can manage the situation, how you can grow in this, because I feel that there is a tremendous opportunity, whenever there is a crisis situation, that means that, there is a signal that you can do even more and you can achieve more. So we all are taking this as an opportunity, and that's why I would like to hear from Ms. Suchi also, and she would tell us that how you can make your life better. So, ma'am, what is your view in terms of laughter therapy in particular? So I have been observing people like in our society where we used to live in India. So there a lot of people they formed a laughter club, and in the morning they used to laugh. So even I used to enjoy that because the moment you get up and 7 o'clock in the morning you hear people laughing around, so it gives you a positive feeling, right? Laughter is such a therapy, and even sitting at home, if you hear someone else laughing, you feel happy. Now imagine when you laugh, what will happen? What is your viewpoint, ma'am?
Yeah, so laughter is being taken as like a granted thing. Like whenever we want, we can laugh, and it's the science behind hormones, happy hormones, stress hormones. There is very little or no awareness about it. So when I picked up some exercises from a local coach here in Singapore, I did not stop it there. So when you're mentioning you go to the park, laugh, yes, you just laugh for some time. You didn't really work on your system in a way when it comes to brain chemistry, body chemistry. So there's so much science and there's so much to learn about it. I went deep down and I studied about it. I studied about brain development and I applied a lot of knowledge to see what happens exactly when I do this and that. I conducted some experiments, science experiments, and I read a lot for one good year. And after that, I came out with laughter therapy, where I don't want the participants or my clients to just stop after this ha 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 ha, and then go back and get angry and shout at their loved ones. So I just wanted to make sure that they work on themselves internally, not just on the surface, and they really the therapy I had designed really helps them to fix any issues like past trauma, grief, anything which is not working for them. They need to get rid of that negativity. So what I did is I designed it in a way where clients or participants work on themselves internally. They fix any issues which are going with them, which are sometimes they're not even aware. So what we hear, like whenever I am being interviewed, is like, yes, people laugh in the garden, people laugh in the garden, but that doesn't really work if you just laugh for some time and you come back home and you start to get upset with your loved ones and you're not happy with yourself. So there's so much science behind it, and once we understand how fantastically, beautifully our brain is designed, the way we are designed. So it's very empowering. It's very empowering to understand our anatomy, our physiology, and it's very empowering to know that we have this power and ability to take control of our hormones. Like, so what are the stress hormones? What are the happy hormones? Okay, what kind of things we do, what kind of changes in our lifestyle we should make, what kind of routines we should adopt in order to get this dosage of happy hormones. And okay, so I get this dosage of happy hormones, my happy hormones are very high, let's see, and then the stress hormones will go lower. So it's that easy. The blood pressure will be normal, your sugar levels are going to be in your control, and everything is being done naturally. So there's like, you don't need to pop up pills. There are so many people who are depressed, they stop taking their depression medicine. So it's that powerful. So I'm not talking about just 5 minutes laughter or 10 minutes laughter. There is so much science behind it, and it's really good to know that we are designed very powerfully the way we are designed. It's all about people not being aware. Yeah.
I think that's a big myth you are breaking today, because yes, a lot of people think that it's all about 5 or 10 minutes of laughter, which is not the case. So it has to be about inner happiness, isn't it? So yes, I completely agree with you.
And also about knowing that your brain will release happy hormones, endorphins, and also some of the other happy hormones if you do this. There is some science behind it. So just because I'm on this podcast right now, I just want to share with the viewers and the audience and those who are listeners, that if you laugh out loud using your belly, not just your facial part, like no, it doesn't work that way. So you need to laugh out loud using your belly. So practice belly laughter for 15 to 20 minutes. Then your brain will release endorphins.
Okay, that's a great point. And I wanted to ask you, for example, if somebody is not feeling like to laugh, he is in a situation or in a mental state where he or she is not feeling like to laugh. So what he or she should do?
I get this so often. Speaking at a scientific conference, and there was a neurologist, a very senior neurologist, and he just like, and I say, "Do this, come on, this." He's like, "I'm not gonna do it. I'm not. You want me to laugh when someone is dead?" So I get it very often when people say that. I don't feel like, so even if you are depressed, then because I work with a lot of people who are depressed, when you practice fake laughter, brain will not know the difference. The brain will still release endorphins if you practice belly laughter for 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, that's a great information. So we can fake it till we make it. So okay, so we can send the signals to brain.
Brain would not know. Brain would not know whether it's real or fake. So you are working on yourself, forcing yourself to laugh, and when one person starts to laugh, the other one would not be able to control laugh. I know, because I sometimes conduct it for 500 people, and it's so beautiful to see someone is feeling very low, but I just tell them to believe in whatever I'm saying and read up more about it and just laugh, let go, because in some countries it's not advisable for them to laugh. Even if someone smiles, it's being seen as the person is weaker than the other people. You are weaker because you're smiling. So they take pride in being serious and controlling themselves. And this kind of people are the one who are like walking volcanoes, and then they have so many bottles of feelings, so much inside them, and one day they just burst, and they kill others, they do all sorts of negative things. So it's really important to let go and laugh out loud. Yeah.
I think you are right. Even I came across a research a few years ago, and it said a very surprising thing. And they said that leaders don't laugh. Now, this was something which was somehow shocking to me. And I observed in my corporate life when I was working with corporate companies and the multinational companies, the leaders, the top management, they don't used to smile, they don't used to laugh because of stress, because of something, or they might have read this kind of a research. So even for some time, I stopped, like, I started, acting like that. That even if I am like feeling like to laugh on a joke, because I'm like that, if I want to laugh, if I want to cry, I will do that. There is no stopping. I don't live for, of course, you don't live for others. You don't. If you are having some feeling, of course, you have it. You can't hide it really, and you should not be hiding that, because of course, as you said, that it will burst sometime. So after that, I after a few weeks, I simply decided that I cannot act like that. Even if you are senior, junior, whatever you are, whichever situation you are, whichever scenario you are in, if you are with your seniors, with your juniors, with your subordinates, with your family, if you are feeling like to smile, laugh, go ahead. Don't shy away, or don't hide the actual real emotions. So that's my key takeaway. And I have been like, I don't hide my feelings. Even if I am upset or angry, it comes on my face too fast. So that's for some it might be a problem, but for me it's very natural. So even if sometimes people can gauge that, I'm not in agreement with their viewpoint, or I'm not feeling like to do this, and that's pretty much on my face, and I'm very clear about that. So I really profess that if you are feeling like that, please express.
The anger can be managed. Anger management can be learned, and one can actually learn how to regulate emotions from a very early age. So we didn't have any adults going around throwing tantrums or shouting, screaming at their loved ones, or even like you said, your boss or your superior, or who boss, right? You mentioned boss was not a leader, so he was not smiling, and so there is nothing to feel good about when I'm like serious and this is how I manage. So true leaders wouldn't really bother how someone else is looking at and thinking about them, because they know their job well. They know how to. Being the principal of many international schools, I used to laugh at work. I used to get my team members to laugh at me, and my meetings would be very fun and very in a way being conducted very, it was conducted in a very relaxed environment. So it didn't make me a bad leader because I was laughing out loud. At that time I was not even a laughter coach. I only became laughter coach after 5 years back. But many years back when I was working in preschools as a principal, I was just being myself as a leader who know I know who I am, so I'm not bothered about what other people think about me. So if you come across somebody who say that be serious and this and that, like don't do that, because uh, then you become angry, right? Like you're not able to control your emotions and you're not able to regulate. So it can be done. Like one can learn how to practice emotional mastery. You can regulate your emotions. You would be able to respond better if you have learned that. Yeah.
Ma'am, some quick tips about how to manage anger, or any particular tips. For example, if somebody is in a bad situation, or just got to argue with someone. So what should they be doing? Because once you let's say argue with someone, the effect lasts for hours, right? So how to control that after effect? What we should be doing?
So first of all, you need what the person must, or whoever is working on himself or herself, need to know that it can be learned. So if it's not being taught, or like when I was preschool principal, I used to have anger management workshop for children, little children, those who were they were only like below 7, and they used to go back and say like, "Mommy, if you're really angry, why don't you tell Daddy, like, excuse yourself, like, Daddy, could you please go for a walk and come back and talk to Mommy?" So these little children picked up tips on how anger can be managed, and they started to tell their parents. The parents, look, our children are telling us how to manage anger, so why don't you conduct a workshop for us? And then we conduct a workshop for parents. So first of all, when someone is angry, you must see anger as like an emotion, see it coming and going. So know that after some time you'll be all right. So you should not interact, mingle, and get angry on the people around you, because anger is negative energy. So when someone is angry at you, shouting, screaming, saying things to you, our body is made up of 70% of water. So whatever people say to us, it affects our cells, body cells, the tissue. There are cells, and it contains 70% of water. So no matter how much I practice emotional mastery, but if I'm being told and scolded all the time, my body chemistry, my brain chemistry will change. So it takes a lot of practice for someone to reach to a level where you don't really get affected by people who are angry with you. But for people who are still picking that up, it will be really good to excuse yourself. Excuse yourself and do not say things when you're angry, because even if you say sorry later and say, like, I didn't really mean it and stuff, it doesn't work. By the time you already changed that person's body chemistry by saying things which you didn't mean to because you were angry. And people should also stop taking pride in, like when you mentioned, like, I get angry. Like, you should not take pride in being angry, because it's something which you can work on. You can behave lovingly. Why not? Right? So excuse yourself, go for a walk, play a soccer game, whatever is available. Maybe just lock yourself in a room and then just take a bolster pillow and hit that to let go of your anger, but not on people, because as I mentioned that I had done many experiments, and scientifically it's proven that words carry energy, words carry power. So whatever someone is saying to you, it's actually changing your body chemistry. So our body contains 70% of water. So the cell anatomy will change because of the words you hear. So whatever people say to you, and even what you say to yourself, it's very important to use positive terminology, use positive words. So the positive affirmations are very, very important now.
I think now we are leading to a very interesting conversation about positive affirmations. So ma'am, please elaborate how we can practice positive affirmations, where we should start from, how we should be practicing it.
Can be done early in the morning when you wake up, because when you wake up, your morning routine sets the tone for the rest of your day. So whatever happens to you in the morning, whatever you say to yourself, like how frantically you get up from your bed, how chaotic or how busy your morning is, it depends. It would set the tone for the rest of the day. So when you wake up, the first thing you do is set an intention. My morning routine involves setting an intention, because when you set an intention and start your day, sometimes I get whatever I want by noon. It's so beautiful. So set an intention and be grateful. So my book Code to Happiness is based on how someone can use the techniques and make some changes in lifestyles and routines in order to practice gratitude. So I have written 600 journals where I did not repeat the reason for me to be grateful. So when you start your morning, you should feel grateful, and set an intention, be grateful. Talk to universe, because I see myself being a part of this universe, whole Earth's consciousness. So see yourself as a part of that energy, so you don't feel like sad, depressed, low, nobody loves me, and this and that. So as we already know, words carry power, words carry energy. So you can design your own affirmations based on what you want in life. Like, I am loved. If you're not feeling loved, I'm loved. I am loved. I am loved. And you really visualize you being loved by people around you. So, like, I'm being invited for interviews. I am being appreciated. I am being given a lot of flower bouquets. I'm being received at the airport. I'm being paid highly for speaking. So the affirmations depends on what one is asking for, looking for in life, and then you say it aloud a few times to change your body chemistry. So you can do it early in the morning, you can do it in the afternoon, and you can do it in the evening. Depends on, even if you're stuck in the traffic, and instead of like cursing and saying bad words and getting angry at your loved one, say affirmations, because it changes your body chemistry.
That's a very strong message, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes, of course, whatever we appreciate, it grows. I have learned that. And yes, in the mornings, I have stopped reading news. So that's something I have practiced, because the moment you pick, earlier we used to have newspapers. People had habit of reading the newspaper the first thing in the morning. Strict no, I stopped newspapers. It's been years, despite the fact that I was working with newspaper myself, 10 years back. So I was writing for newspapers, and then I moved to digital. and I used to pick my mobile and read the news through my mobile. Now everything is negative, sensational. Even nowadays, in WhatsApp groups, which are very popular, the moment you get up, you find negative news about corona. These many people have died. There is no news about that these many people have recovered. There is no news. There is a news of deaths, the calamity, the all the negative news around. So I have completely stopped for the first 2 to 3 hours. I don't read news at all. I think about my children, my family, the things which I have got from the God, and I just keep praying that thank you so much, gratitude, and that's how I begin my day. And that has really transformed my mindset, because then rest of my day, I set the tone for the rest of my day. So
This awareness is in you because there are many people who are not aware. They have nothing to do. They just sit down and forward negative news to other people. Like someone else will read it, feel very sad and low, forward to other person. So forwarding negative news is something I don't get involved in. I'm someone who is spreading positivity around the world. So it's really, you have this awareness that, look, I can take control of what I can take control of. Certain things are not in my control, but you can always save yourself from that. So saving yourself from that is important because everything is energy. Even if you see a piece of news, that's energy and that affects your energy. You need to understand that part. So I'm so glad that you had taken control of that. But I take full control of my energy. No matter what happens around me, I take how I feel, what I want to feel, whatever. It's in my control. So it's very empowering.
Yeah, that's true. So you were talking about children in your school, and I really love the fact that you were the principal at international schools and being around with children, because that's something children always make you learn. We feel that children know nothing. They are just 4 years, 5 years old, or even toddlers. They have so much to to teach you. For example, they are so forgiving. You scold them now, after 5 minutes they will come back to you laughing and playing with you. you know so you feel like that I scolded him or her so much, and again she is coming back to me, he's coming back to me again, playing with me again, so sweet, no harm, no ill feelings, no nothing like that. So what happens when people grow up, after some time, when we are like above, especially after 15 years of age, then people start behaving differently. They start evolving their ego. If you scold them, if you just say something to them, instruct them, and they will come back to you with all the more force. So what happens? What really changes? Why can't we act like kids? What happens really?
We can we can still be the way we were born, like innocent, and that's the way it should be. Like we're not worried about future because our stay on this earth is temporary. We're not going to be here permanently. Some people are walking on this earth as if they are going to be here permanently, like holding grudges, not forgiving people, and just not living their life to the fullest. So it's important to be like a child. It takes some time to work on yourself to go to bed and sleep like a baby, to not worry so much about the future, like what's going to happen, because you don't even know whether you will be alive tomorrow or not. Like it's not a curse or any negative thing, but that's the reality of life. So when we start to work on ourselves and really behave, not really behave like children, but our mind is like we work on ourselves to be as pure as children, then we also work on ourselves to be inquisitive, like not like, oh, this is the same old world, I'm so bored. So again, like work on yourself. But like how curious is it? Like, oh look, that's laptop. Oh look at that, it's recording. So it's important to be the way we were, and it's not like there are no people who are like that. Like people who are aware, they will continuously work on themselves to forgive other people, because I have seen many people who are on their deathbed and they are very regretful because they wanted to say sorry to somebody, they wanted to say I love you to somebody, but it's too late. By the time they are dropping their physical body, there's no time to hug their brother to say sorry, or say that I'm sorry to their wife or husband, like I love you and stuff. So this awareness is important that we are not going to be here permanently. So we need to work on ourselves to be like children who forgive very easily. It doesn't come that easily. Again, you need to work on yourself. So there's so much work you need to do it on yourself. That's why keep away from negative media so that you can continue to work on your self development and live a very happy and peaceful life.
That's really helpful. I hope that our audience are, just taking notes from this podcast, and I will put the link to ma'am's book in the description, and her journals also in the description, so you can access that and you can also learn from her. And I also wanted to speak about the corporate rat race. I'm sorry, I'm calling that a rat race because actually, I felt that, and many people feel like that it's a rat race where every person is pulling each other's leg and trying to get ahead for no reason. Uh, there are insecurities for no reason. As we said that, people tend to, argue with each other or fight with each other or pull somebody down. And, it's very common in corporate rat race. And yes, it happens despite the fact that there is so much of abundance in the world. Like, there is nothing like that if you snatch someone's work, or if you try to put somebody down, you will be looked upon superior to him or her. There is nothing like that. But people don't realize that, and when they realize, it's too late sometimes. And I really believe that if my audience, somebody, if you are listening, if you are also in the same situation, especially in your mid career, where you feel like, oh my god, why I am doing this, even if I pull somebody down, or I criticize someone, will it make me look good? Maybe for some time, for a few moments, but that is too temporary. Just imagine that if that person carries that ill feeling for a longer time, does that matter? Yes, it matters a lot, because you are spoiling the relationships. So it's all about, you said that it's a very short time, we are here for a very short period of time on earth. So why to get into things which are ephemeral, which are temporary in nature? Ma'am, what's your comment on corporate rat race?
First of all, people need to understand that we are not born to pay the bills and die. So there is a purpose for our birth, like why are we born? So it's really important to find that purpose, and once you find that purpose, then that would be also the area where you can continue to follow and work towards your vision, and at the same time know that the universe is abundant and there is enough for all of us. You don't need to snatch from other people. You can continue to tap on your share by practicing visualizing, using positive affirmations to change your body chemistry and brain chemistry, and get your share.
That's truly amazing. We can talk to the universe, and people might think that it's crazy to think like that, but actually I have felt for myself that yes, you can send waves to the universe, positive waves in the outer world, and you can receive positivity. If you send negativity in the outer world, you will receive the same. So it all rebounds. So I truly think like that it's all about rebound. Whatever you are giving to the world, it will come back to you, maybe more than that.
Yeah, I've been practicing that. So I tell my relatives, my friends, look, like 6 months down the road, and within 1 year, I'll do this. And they say, look, you do this. You did it. Of course. So it's all about matching your frequencies to the universe frequencies by raising your vibration. So how we say things to ourselves, how we sit, what kind of lifestyles we have, routines we have. What do we say about yourself? It all affects our total physiology. So once we understand that, then you raise your vibrations that high that you're able to match with the universe vibrations, and things will come to you accordingly.
Yeah, and that's really an art, and I'm really interested in learning that, and I really want my audiences to be learning that, because that's something that will give you real success. just forget about the material things. You will get that. If they are made for you, if that is good for you, you will definitely get that. If they are not good for you, you won't get that, because universe has decided everything which is fair and given to you. So you will get it. So don't worry about anything else. That's my, that's my core belief.
Also, don't have any negativity in your energy field when it comes to money, because there was a time I was like, I don't want money, I don't need money, that kind of thing. So it also blocks your energy field when it comes to money. So you need to keep it open, like I'm ready to receive large amounts of money is coming to me. There are many affirmations which you can practice. So you need to also know that once you say that I have enough or I don't need it, you're also causing that blockage in your energy field. So like universe is like, look, like I want to give you, but I don't need it. So make sure that you're not saying any negative things. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, that's the key message. That okay, don't become a saint, unless you feel like that. So ask for, if you are looking for a dream car, or for your, for more money, more wealth, of course, that's also required. So ask to the universe, send vibrations like that, and things will happen, things will start forming, and universe listens and enables, empowers you with more skills, more knowledge. Your entire mindset starts working in that direction. So that's, of course, thank you for correcting me also, because I was thinking like a saint, and just forget about the world, and believe that okay, everything.
So, yeah, the more we receive, the more we can help others. Like I'm receiving it so that I can help people whom I want to help.
That's great. Yes. And especially in this environment, people need to help each other, because ultimately everyone is in the same boat. This world is too small. There might be billions of people around, but yes, it's a small world, and we are in the same boat. So whenever there is an opportunity, if you are empowered enough, let's help each other in whatever way you can. It may not be monetary, it may not be financial, it can be mental support. You can motivate a lot of people. So that anyone can do. If you have learned something, please, spread it out. My audiences, I'm especially, giving this message, because yes, we can help each other a lot. There are people who are in worse situations than you, isn't it? And if you believe that you are the person who is in the worst situation, then I don't think so, because there are millions and billions of people who are not well off like you, but you can do something for them.
When you're working towards you're walking on the path of least resistance, like there's no resistance, you're getting pulled towards your vision, you're achieving, attaining whatever you want in life, then you can be there for others. Like what I did, I've been providing support to people who are having mental health issues. Although I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, but somehow I have this blessing to be able to attend to the phone calls by people who are having suicidal thoughts. So I have saved 26 people who were having suicidal thoughts. Yeah. So when you are able to take control, you feel empowered, then everything is in order, like your body, mind, soul is all aligned, and you are in tune, like kind of there's a network connection between you and the universe. Then you feel very peaceful, and you're able to help others. Like I'm a real life volunteer. I help others every single day. Yeah.
That's a great message, ma'am. And I'm so happy. And I know that you have saved so many lives, and I have read some news and updates like that. I'm really honored to have you here, and you really spoke about a very important subject. So, suicidal tendency, is it just because of negative feelings? I have read a lot of books, and especially, Sai Baba, who I believe in. So, in some books, it is said that he was having a suicidal tendency because he was above the form, the body, so for him, the physical body was something which was like, okay, because you have to have a physical existence, but he was much more than that. So he also had those kind of tendency. I might be wrong because I have read it. But yes, there are people who are so positive, and at a point in time, they just feel like that, I'm over and above the physical form, and they just want to do these things. Is it just because of negativity, or there are any other factors also which influence or just escalate this kind of thought process?
It's mainly due to an imbalance when it comes to neurochemicals. So there is imbalance in the brain, and the person starts to have this kind of thoughts. So it's really important to know that thoughts are mere thoughts. Like one thought comes and goes, and just see thoughts as thoughts. And till we don't involve our feelings and emotions to thoughts, thoughts won't really harm us. They don't bite, they don't attack. Thoughts are thoughts. So it's really important to know that. And when the damage is severe when it comes to imbalance in your brain, that's where people have self-harm tendencies and all. So these kind of people then are being taken to mental health institute. But if someone is having it like irregularly, and if the person is able to share with the family members, then the family members need to make sure, and the friends and someone like me who is receiving this kind of person, we need to remember that we can't dismiss it by saying that don't feel this way. What happens in most of the cases is like, why are you feeling it? You had everything on earth, like there are so many celebrities who ended up committing suicide because no one understood them. Their family members did not understand them. So it's really important to understand that yes, it's happening. Like this person is really feeling it, and then be there for that person without judging the person. Because most of the times when someone says like, oh, I'm like saying, why are you doing this? You're okay, you're fine, and then you shouldn't be feeling this way. Like this is how people speak to the people who are having such. So it's really important to be there and just listen. What these people who are having suicidal thoughts need is someone to understand, someone to rely on, and we don't judge them when we attending to them. So if we take care of that particular moment when they are having it, and then we help them, like especially the PTSD thing, like we have post trauma stress disorder, someone is having suicidal thoughts. So I've saved many people by just telling them that look, PTSD means post trauma stress disorder. Your body is not able to relax naturally, so you need to put in efforts to relax your body. So play some soothing piano music with water sounds, lay your head on the pillow, some like nice, even my voice I use it like breathing, love, you are love, you are peace. So this can be done and we can save people, but there is really still no awareness as I used to. If someone is having this, also, oh, you are having, so you put them on the mental hospital. So sometimes the cases are not this severe. Like our family members, our friends, one of them might be having it. So when you hear somebody saying this, we need to make sure that we are there for that person to be the 100% without judging that person, and really know that this person might end up his or her life if we do not take it seriously.
Wonderful. So a lot of key messages from this podcast. Think about abundance, positive mindset, miracle mornings, how to start your mornings, how to avoid the negative thought process. A lot of key insights. Of course, we don't have much time here, but yes, I will try to bring to you another podcast with ma'am, and we'll learn more from her. And definitely, we'll also, uh, develop ourselves, evolve ourselves, because learning is something which never stops. So even if you are in whatever age group you are, it never stops. So we'll bring ma'am again to our podcast. And thank you so much for being on our show. Any closing remarks, ma'am, for the audience?
Oh, thank you so much. So next time when I come on your podcast, we can practice some laughter exercises. We can talk about laughter therapies. That topic is huge. There's so much to learn from it. So concluding thoughts will be: do not postpone your happiness, and do not give the keys of your happiness to someone else. Because most of the time we end up living our life in a way when we are pleasing others. When we are trying to please others, our happiness is at stake because we don't really take care of our happiness. So it's important to know that we can't be postponing it. So we cannot live in the past by just brooding over and regretting about what had happened. We cannot even living in the future by feeling anxious about future, which we have not seen. We have to learn how to live in this very moment. I wouldn't even say today, I'll say this very moment. Feel grateful and be happy. So do not postpone your happiness.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being our guest. And definitely, we'll have another podcast with you. And as you said, we'll practice laughter therapy. So please subscribe to our podcast, and I will come back to you soon. And you will find this podcast hopefully in the next one. Ma'am, if you have time, we can release this in the next one. And yes, we are really looking forward. I'm really excited to practice that laughter session online. And thank you so much again for your time, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you.